Hi everyone, I am Sabina Persson from Custellence, and you are so welcome to the videocast CX Minutes. It's 6 questions, 6 minutes, and it's all about customer experience. So this is a series of episodes where we try to bring you actionable insights, practical know-how, and personal stories from top professional, and all in just 6 minutes. That's the ambition. And with me today, I have Zack Hamilton from parcelLab. Welcome, Zack. How are you?
Hi, Sabina. I'm great. Thank you for having me on. I'm so excited to be with you today.
Likewise, I can't wait to start. So we're going to talk about we're going to talk about the future of customer experience. But first, let me just ask you, who are you and what do you do?
So Zack Hamilton, I always say I'm a retailer at heart. I
Hmm.
was born and bred in retail, from operations to e-commerce, and then I fell into CX. I never had my heart set on a career in customer experience, which has now led me to, at parcelLab, I lead our entire kind of customer value realization. So I help brands globally strategically think about how they deliver better post-purchase experiences. And then I also lead up our Post-Purchase Experience Institute.
Got it. But you also do something else, right?
Yeah, something else. I here recently, I've been really, I'll just be honest, I've been really annoyed with CX practitioners and thought leaders complaining about the same thing on LinkedIn. So I started the Unfucking Your CX newsletter, and now it's turned into a podcast as well. So it's really just a challenge the industry, challenge your thinking, very radical, punch you in the face, kind of
Mm.
gut that I think all CX practitioners need,
Yes.
especially if they're going to be here and be part of the future of CX.
Yeah. Yeah. Can really recommend both both the newsletter and the pod. Um, so what role do customer experience or does the customer experience play in your work?
Yeah, so I'll say in my work, if we really think about kind of retail and kind of that digital shopping experiences,
Mm.
most brands check out at checkout.
Yeah.
So we spend billions of dollars trying to acquire a customer. And once that customer gets through the digital funnel, they finish digital shopping, they check out, and ultimately brands just leave
Mm.
basically that post-purchase experience or that last mile fulfillment
Mm.
in the hands of a third party. And so ultimately, if we really think about customer lifetime value and we think about kind of that equation,
Mm.
the next purchase and time to repeat purchase is so important.
Mm.
And ultimately, what I do is I help brands strategically think about how do we keep your customers engaged while they're waiting for their merchandise or product to be delivered.
Mm.
Uh, how do we leverage your personalization engine, all these different
Mm.
things to really drive just incredible engagement, which then ultimately leads to repeat purchases and customer lifetime value.
Yeah. The customer lifetime value is key here, isn't it? Yeah.
It's the king, customer
Yeah.
lifetime value is king.
Yeah. So this is supposed to be a quick question,
Yeah.
but it's big, I know. So how do you see AI shaping the future of customer experience?
Yeah, what's really interesting is I've thought for such a long time that our CX work is so slow.
Mm.
We're very reactive to customer feedback. So what's coming over in our surveys or, we're
Mm.
scraping feedback online.
Mm.
And essentially, yes, we can be very reactive and quick when it comes to closing the inner loop, right? So
Mm.
following up on a bad experience.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but ultimately, if we think about that outer loop and really redesigning experiences, um, I know just from my own experience that could take 9 to 12 months as we
Mm.
think about really, understanding what the experience is that we need to redesign, because customer expectations, and then going and getting executive approval. And
Mm.
so ultimately, with AI is going to be the tool that's going to help us keep up
Mm.
and ahead of consumer behavior. Consumer behavior changes so rapidly and so quickly, we're always behind and reactive in CX. And
Mm.
now AI is going to be the tool that helps us, one, stay up with consumer behavior, but also predict consumer behavior so we actually
Mm.
get ahead of it.
Mm. Mm. And in your opinion, what is one customer? Okay, aside from AI, what
Yeah.
is one customer experience trend that you think people should, pay attention to right now?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think about more around experience orchestration.
Yeah,
So too often we try to design experiences, and most of the time the experiences that we design are for us as a brand and what we're trying to achieve, our brand goals, versus really just allowing us as consumers and customers be our
mm,
authentic selves. That's when
mm,
you really try that connection. And so I think about experience orchestration where we're moving away from leveraging feedback
yeah,
but more around behaviors. So behaviors are more predictive than what feedback is. And
hmm
so ultimately, there's a lot of brands, or I should say, your leading brands are starting to move towards behavioral patterns versus just
mm,
feedback patterns. A lot of people might say, well, it's and you got to combine both.
mm,
But again, if you're sitting around and waiting for feedback, it's way too slow.
got it. Yeah. And what if you were to, imagine, sorry, what if you were imagine 10 years from now? What's one big change that you think we'll see in customer experience?
Yeah, this one's so interesting. So I was at eTail and I got the question a couple weeks ago,
Mm,
or to go back into industry and start leading a CX strategy again for a retailer, what would I do?
yeah.
Um, and my feedback was I would actually build a team of agentic AI bots or
Oh,
agents,
yeah, yeah.
and really have them focused on, one is just really focused on customer lifetime value, one's
Mm,
focused on customer retention, and really assign them to revenue goals. And I'd have a very, very small CX team whose
mm,
responsibility is more around calibration of the agents, getting in feedback, looking at
mm,
how accurate they are. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, we will never have large CX teams. And if you
mm,
have to really, if you think about the CX role,
mm,
it's more about influencing cross-functional decisions and
yeah.
actions that can be taken.
Mm,
Uh,
mm,
and it's still too slow. And so that's what I would do, even if I would go back now, because I think in 10 years from now, um, it is all going to be about agents. I mean,
yeah,
retail brands are going to be run on agents.
yeah, yeah. And it might not even take 10 years. That's my thought of
I
on
don't
it.
think it will. I think it's
Yeah,
going to take probably 2.5, 3 years. I don't think
yeah.
we will lose the human element. I think the
Mm,
humans will be there to, one, ensure that there is human logic applied to the agents. I think
mm,
we're looking at the accuracy of agents and the
yeah,
act that they are taking.
yeah.
But they can analyze, consumer behavior patterns within seconds versus
Mm,
it takes us hours to do that.
mm, yes. Okay, and final question. What is, you know, as we've been talking about the future CX, if you were to give one piece of advice, what would that be?
So I'll give immediate advice would be stop reporting on net promoter score or vanity metric. So NPS, CSAT, OSAT,
Mm,
customer comfort score. Quite frankly, your executive team doesn't give a shit. Like they act like they care because that's the only metric that they know.
yes.
But quite frankly, your North Star as a CX team should be customer lifetime value. That's it.
Mm,
And if you are taking any actions or reporting on anything that doesn't relate to or have causation to customer lifetime value, not correlation, but causation,
mm,
wasting your time, and you should stop doing that, wasting your time.
and amen to that, I say. Thank you so much for these amazing advice and thoughts that you were so willing to share, Zach. It was been great to speaking with you.
Likewise, it was incredible. I love just the quick tips, and I've learned a lot from your previous guests as well.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you. And with that, everyone, it's a wrap, and we thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye.